Remember when your mom told you to stay out of the dirt? Don't get muddy. Keep your shoes clean. We'll be doing none of that here tonight. The Camping World SRX Series welcomes you to Rosberg, Ohio. We're coming up 2 rowdy weeks in which Kyle Busch reigns supreme.
Kyle Busch wins it at Berlin. He's going to make 2 starts in the SRX Series and add 2 wins to his name.
Now we say hello to the dirt and a fresh crop of new faces. Some are new to the surface, others new to the series, and there's one who's a relative newbie to racing in circles. Eldora's dirt is an equalizer, and it all starts right now.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Bob Jenkins. Here we are again for what you wanted, short track midget racing.
It's going to be a rock and roll Thursday night.
And yes, Tony Stewart is here, coming up on Thunder.
It's another win for Tony Stewart.
This is great racing.
Bobby Labonte for the win.
SRX season is going to be intense and aggressive.
Contact and a spin.
He's a winner in pretty much everything he does.
You're getting ready to get one hell of a show.
Let's try to dial up Clipboard.
Wait, are we on the air?
4-time Indy 500 champion, now SRX winner.
What a win for Ryan Newman. They're on their feet, they're cheering, they're hollering. What a great energy it is tonight.
Every sport has their crown jewel, the one event its participants most want to win, from the Super Bowl to the Kentucky Derby to the World Series to the Indianapolis 500. Eldora Speedway is the crown jewel of dirt tracks. Hello and welcome to the Camping World SRX Series. It is week 5 of Thursday Night Thunder. I'm Nicole Briscoe. Here's what we have for you tonight. We have 2 heat races. Each one is 25 laps or 14 minutes. The average finish of those 2 events will lead us to the main event, which is 75 laps in length. Now, we have a number of familiar faces here this evening from Tony Stewart. We also have Marco Andretti and Ryan Newman. We also have our familiar face in Matt Yoakum. However, Matt, there are so many faces that we are saying hello to for the first time this season.
Nicole, we rack them again. It's the most diverse lineup in SRX history, a quartet of new faces for 2023. Matt Kenseth, he's back in SRX last year. He competed on the dirt at I-55. Now he's joined by 3 drivers making their SRX debut. You've got Austin Dillon and Chase Briscoe. Both have had success here on the dirt in the NASCAR Truck Series. Joined by NHRA's second winningest driver and funny car history, Ron Capps. Now, yes, he's gone over 330 miles an hour. Yes, he has over 70 national event wins, but he also has 8 starts, Nicole, here in the charity event, the Prelude of the Dream. So from Daytona to Indy to now Pomona, we have it all covered here at SRX.
Yes, we do, and it is now time to officially get things started. Here is 11-time NHRA National Event winner, also known as Tony Stewart's other half, with the most famous words in racing, Leah Pruitt. Take it away. Drivers, start your engines! The cars are fired. The sun is setting. The fans here have been tailgating for hours, and I know there are 2 gentlemen in the booth who are ready to go as well. Alan Bestwick, Joey Logano, take it away.
All right, Nicole, thanks. That one word, Eldora, gets any short track racing fan excited. Joey, what are we going to see with these drivers on this track tonight?
Well, you said it. This is one of the most famous short tracks in the world, and you have some of the most iconic race car drivers on it at the same time. Some guys are dirt guys, some are not at all, some don't even turn left very often. And we're going to get to see all of that, and it's going to change a lot. Through the first couple heat races, the track's going to be pretty tacky. They're going to be on the gas a lot. By the end of the feature, I'm not sure they're even going to get wide open. It's going to change a lot, and it's a matter if these drivers can adjust their driving style and if they can adjust their cars the right amount in between the heat races.
Big skill required. We've got a field of drivers who possess that big skill. Here are our 12 superstars tonight.
Ron Capps, 3-time NHRA Funny Car World Champion.
Bobby Labonte, 2000 Cup Series Champion.
Tony Stewart, 3-time Cup Series Champion.
Brad Keselowski, 2012 Cup Series Champion.
Ken Schrader, 3-time Daytona 500 pole winner.
Ryan Newman, 2008 Daytona 500 champion.
Haley Deegan, NASCAR Truck Series 2-time most popular driver.
Marco Andretti, your defending SRX Series champion.
Matt Kenseth, 2003 Cup Series champion.
Austin Dillon, 2018 Daytona 500 champion.
Tony Kanaan, 2013 Indy 500 champion.
Chase Briscoe, 2018 Eldora Truck Series winner.
So there are our 12 drivers for tonight and a look at this challenging racetrack that they're going to face.
Yeah, we talked about how much it's going to change, but look how wide this racetrack is. Right there, it's 108 feet wide on the front straight. Look how wide the corners are, though. This is where racers want to go. This is why it's fun. This is why Eldora is so special. From the wall, where there's going to be a cushion, and they're going to be banging off the cushion, to the very, very bottom. Look for slide jobs tonight. Look for
look at
total
that.
chaos. Go wherever you want. Just go where they're not is what's going to end up happening.
That was from when SRX first raced here at Eldora a couple of years ago, and that's just a sampling of the action we're going to see on this half-mile dirt track tonight. So this is the 5th of 6 races in our Camping World SRX Series. Championship standings heading into the next to last race of the Summer Series. Ryan Newman has a pretty good advantage on Brad Keselowski. That 33 points by perspective to win a main event pays 25 points. You can also earn points for winning one of our heat races. Marco Andretti dropped 2nd and 3rd last week at Berlin, and again tonight and just next week at Lucas Oil Speedway in Missouri, remaining in the Camping World SRX Series.
And this championship means something. I flew up here with Brad Keselowski earlier. We were talking about the SRX championship and what that's all about and how bad he wants it. So a racetrack like Eldora, you could call it a wild card. It's on dirt. A lot of different things can happen. Big night to capitalize on.
Well, it's certainly, besides that championship, it's certainly a big feather if you can win in anything here at Eldora, and these drivers all wound up for it. We had a rainstorm like you've not seen in some time in these parts last night here. I mean, this place got soaked, and it yielded a perfect night tonight. Look at those weather conditions.
It is perfect. The track's tacky. We watched practice earlier. They water down the track a little bit more even, so they're going to definitely go through a swing. We talk about the track's tacky. That's when these dirt guys are really going to show up. The guys that really aren't afraid to pitch the car into the corner, get a lot of angle. The more you see that car in yaw, as we call it, or sideways, those guys are going to be going now. But when it gets dry and slick, you're going to drive it a little bit more like asphalt. And that's where the other guys that are more used to that may be coming back.
Look at some of our onboards. Tony Stewart, the Bass Pro Shops onboard camera. He'll give us some great views tonight, and maybe a little surprise later in the show. Bobby Labonte with our Sport Clips on board. Bobby's got previous experience in this SRX car here at Eldora from a couple of years ago. There's the most interesting man in the field tonight, Ron Capps. He's used to going 330 miles an hour, as Matt Yoakum said, but he's not used to turning left, at least not a planned turn.
And I was talking to Ron earlier today, and I said, when's the last time you were in a race car that you actually had to turn? And he said, right here in Eldora, 11 years ago, in a late model. And I thought, holy cow, because I was watching him in practice, he was pretty good. Like, he wasn't far off. He was, like, in the hunt. Right off the bat, like, picked it right up. Just goes to show true talent. A race car driver's a race car driver. Give him a second, they'll figure it out. True talent in Ron Capps.
Ron with our Napa on board, and Ken Schrader carrying the Camping World camera for us tonight. Another guy runs 60 or so dirt track races a year. Ken is flown back here from Canada to race tonight. He flies back to Canada to race for the weekend right after the show.
True racer's racer, Ken Schrader.
Absolutely. So, our format for tonight, starting lineup for this Heat Race 1, drawn at random. That's how they're lined up here. We'll run 25 laps against a 16-minute clock. The finish of Heat Race 1 inverted for the start of Heat Race 2. The average of your finish in the two heats is where you line up for our 75-lap main.
And this start's going to be interesting. These guys got like 10 laps of practice. That's what they're working on. They resurfaced the track since then. They tilled it up, they watered it, put it back down. It's a different track than what they practiced on. So they're going to be figuring this out on the fly with all these cars around them.
Green flag, we're racing at Eldora.
You see Capps up front. See, he can turn left pretty good. Look at him get through turn 1 with a pretty good exit. Looks like Bobby Labonte's going to try to get to his outside.
Capps in the gold and yellow machine, Labonte in white. Digging down the bottom in that black-colored machine is Tony Stewart.
Tony was really fast in practice. Look how Tony's able to pitch the car earlier into the corner and really carry that momentum the first third of the corner. That's where he was making the speed in practice.
Stewart down low, Labonte up high, Cap sliding it sideways through the corner, smoked to second spot.
And that's where you can see it. See, he was able to drive down the racetrack with all that angle on the gas. He's on the throttle through all that, and that's what's making him so fast.
Correct something I said earlier. The time clock for this heat race is 14 minutes. Little adjustment this week to the different size and shape and surface track we're running here. I feel great, Shane.
You got to be impressed with what Ron Capps is doing.
I love it.
One of the best dirt racers ever behind him. And he hasn't done this in 11 years. And Tony's not catching him.
Ron Capps, 3-time NHRA Funny Car champion, including the last 2 straight years. When they got ready to go run their practice laps today, and they only got 10 laps of practice, whoa, here comes smoke. Ron was nervous. He was nervous. But just the fact that he had the guts to come out here and put himself out there and do this and give it a try, all props to him.
You know, all his buddies in the NHRA are like, come on, buddy, you're doing it. It's so cool to see this.
Stewart low, Capps high. Got our heart rates put in. We have heart rate monitors. Look at Ron.
Pretty calm.
Cool as could be. That's only Tony Stewart trying to pass me on a dirt track.
These guys don't have spotters. They have a mirror. They can't see a whole bunch, though. But I'm sure he's looked up every now and again and saw that black car behind him.
So Labonte still third, Brad Keselowski fourth. Then you've got Ryan Newman in fifth, Ken Schrader in sixth.
Here comes the move into one. Tony's going to send her in there. Can't quite. Ron holding to the outside.
How much fun is that? Look at the white gloved hands on Stewart's steering wheel. There's your slide job.
He pulls the slider. Ron's trying to pull it back. You see how he straightens it out? That's just Ron trying to get used to driving this thing a little bit. And he's out there trying to race against the best.
Of course, Tony Stewart owns this speedway. Tony Stewart has won 3 of the 4 races the SRX series has run on dirt tracks. He's pretty good at it.
He's pretty good. There's a lot of places we talk about a driver that owns that track because he's really good at it. No, Tony Stewart actually owns the track.
Yeah. In all the meanings of the sense. Here's Ken Schrader and Ryan Newman now. Schrader 52, Newman 39, and Austin Dillon coming into the picture. A red 33 machine. Dillon, the former Daytona 500 winner, joining SRX for the first time tonight.
Austin Dillon, another accomplished dirt track racer, runs a lot of late models. That's his background on how he started. So this is kind of coming back to his roots for him. Although we say how much is to his roots, a dirt late model and an SRX car could be more different. And there you see a lot of overheating there. See the water coming out of that pink car back there? It's overheating. It's water coming out of the radiator. The grill is clogged full of mud. It's not getting any air.
And that's not a good thing. And that's trouble. 2 cars, 3 cars, 4 cars. Oh, my goodness. Massive accident in turn 3. That's almost half the field.
And that's going to be a lot. That's a lot of carnage, and some of those cars are not fixable. And we were talking about Austin Dillon overheating there. You got to wonder, did it blow up? Did something happen?
Went straight, yeah.
Because he went straight going into that corner.
So the red flag out in our first heat race there. Austin dropping the window net. Here's another look. As
look there, you see all that smoke. It blew up, guys, and probably oil on his tires. And then everyone behind him, listen, cars don't stop on dirt like they do on asphalt. Look at the 4 tires sliding there as Matt Kenseth goes in there. He looks like he's going to be okay. You can't stop on the dirt very quick, especially with a lot of these guys with so much rear brake in it to try to help them turn in the corner.
So Austin Dillon, all the way down at the start-finish line is where his car has finally come to rest. The others, Tony Kanaan, Chase Briscoe, Haley Deegan, Marco Andretti, Matt Kenseth, all involved in that big incident that started up in turn number 3. So we're under the red flag. little less than halfway through our opening heat race at Eldora, and it's been a tough night already for the mechanics.
Camping World is the world's largest RV dealer with more than 1 million RVs sold. And now at over 200 locations strong. We're making RVing more fun and more affordable than ever. Whether you are looking for a travel trailer, fifth wheel, or motorhome, we have new RVs starting at less than $5 a day. And we have the largest selection of quality pre-owned RVs anywhere, with an RV for every lifestyle and a payment for every budget. It's easy to see why Camping World has sold over 1 million RVs. Call, click, or come into your local Camping World today.
From the mountains to the fruited plains and flooded timber, this is hunting country. This is our country. Time to get ready for the season during the Fall Hunting Classic at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Save on great gear with our low price guarantee. And for a limited time, special inflation buster pricing on select tracker off-roads. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, voted America's best outdoor retailer.
Tell me, what do they taste like? I'm just a mascot without a mouth.
Chocolatey, crunchy goodness.
Oh, now eat this next one real slow. Slower. Oh, the H smells good.
These days, it seems like everything is vying for your attention. There are tons of trending dances to discover on social media, and there's even this. The easiest way to book an exam at America's Best. Get 2 pairs and a free exam for $79.95. Book your exam today.
The grass is greener. The stakes are higher. The pressure has been building for months. Golf is sending its best forward. The finest pros swinging for glory. Playing for the PGA Tour's ultimate prize.
Rory McIlroy wins the FedEx Cup.
The FedEx Cup playoffs on ESPN+.
Thursday Night Thunder is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Eldora Speedway in the northwest part of Ohio. We're surrounded by farm communities. Darke County's total population, the county, about 50,000 people, not much larger than the biggest crowds that fill this speedway for some of its major events. You know, Ohio Route 118 that runs through a lot of these communities by the speedway, named for the iconic Earl Baltus, after Tony Stewart bought this place from him some years ago. Well, we've certainly had a difficult start to our Camping World SRX Series Heat Race number 1 tonight at Eldora Speedway after an apparent problem on Austin Dillon's car. Triggered a multi-car accident in turn number 3 and has left us under the red flag. That's the damage to Marco Andretti's car. There's Haley Deegan's machine. There's the list of those who are caught up in it. And Matt Yoakum is down there with some of the drivers that are getting out of their cars.
Austin Dillon has walked up, and so walk us through, is it a blown engine or overheated?
I'm not sure. All I know is it went up in smoke going into 3, and I'm guessing there's water all over it, so I don't know if the radiator hose came loose because it'll crank right now. Throttle's hung wide open. That's why I had to shut it off, but it's just full water lock right there, so I had nothing going into the wall. Just couldn't slow down. I think that's why everybody's sliding in it, because that's all water out from underneath the car. Pretty good lick. But hopefully they have another car. I think the right side's pretty killed.
All right, we're going to walk across to next door here and catch up with Marco Andretti. Or actually, Nicole's got Marco. Go ahead.
Asking what happened, because from his perspective, you were behind it all. So what did you actually see?
It looked like something broke, like somebody went straight. And so I immediately checked up, but I mean, it was like ice, you know, and I didn't know where to go. And I picked the middle, and then the middle closed up.
So for those of us who don't understand the difference between racing on pavement and racing on dirt, when this happens on dirt, how different is it, and how much more difficult is it to actually come to a stop?
Yeah, I think you just saw there. I mean, we just took half the field out. So, I mean, I was on the brakes immediately. Like right when I saw him go high, I was already checked up, but I mean, I hit him with a ton of steam. That's what happens when we're back there. As soon as I'm conservative, I get eaten up in this series, so I got to be more aggressive.
Go ahead, clean your helmet off. You got a lot of dirt on it. Matt?
Well, Nicole, we're over here at the 57 car with Chase Briscoe. He's talking with Choney Uri Jr., his crew chief for this event. So, Chase, looking at everything that happened, They're working on the right front of your car. Possible suspension damage. Are they going to be able to get you back out?
I don't think so in this heat. There's quite a bit of damage. I hit pretty hard, so yeah, I don't know. I think there's only one backup car, so they're going to try to fix this one as best they can. It's unfortunate. I don't know if he blew a radiator or what happened. It's like we were on ice all of a sudden, so it's kind of nowhere to go, kind of part of it. Yeah, having a lot of fun. Just wish I could get back out there.
All right, well, the SRX mechanics are working on that right front, trying to see if they can get that suspension damage replaced in time, but we're running against the clock here. Haley Deegan, she's running around the front here as well. We'll catch up with her.
All right, Matt. Well, the remaining cars in heat race number 1 have been sent back onto the racetrack. The red has been withdrawn. We're back under the yellow flag, and the crew will do its best to scramble on down some of the backup cars and see what can be fixed and what might have to be replaced entirely for the second heat.
Well, you heard it from a couple of the drivers right there. Pretty good hits.
Yeah.
Austin's hit was pretty hard into the outside wall. Chase Briscoe's hit, when he slid in there, the hit he got there in the left front as well was a big hit. So I would be amazed if either one of those cars get back out there. So hopefully there's enough backup cars that can go out there and let them have some more fun.
Updates when possible from pit road. First, the pace truck, Ford pace truck driven by Randy LaJoy, is headed for pit lane, and we're going to go for a restart. Tony Stewart has chosen the outside lane. Bobby Labonte will be inside of him as the green flag waves.
And you say, what happened to Ron Capps? This would be the question on that. He chose the outside lane behind Tony and did not get a good start on that restart there as it's kind of gotten swallowed up out of field.
Not for long. He's coming back to the outside of Brad Keselowski and trying to see if he can get back to third as Stewart motors away. Labonte runs second.
He slides you up. Oh, Brad straightened out up in there into the cushion there a little bit.
Now Ryan Newman outside of Capps. Look at Newman's going to back off and try and set the bottom. Capps came down the bottom. Back, that's Schrader in the blue car on the outside, Newman on the bottom in the South Point machine. And Matt Kenseth behind them.
And these guys know this heat race is about over. You see there in the bottom left screen, 53 seconds. They're coming to the time limit of this race instead of the lap limit.
Love watching guys try different things. You get guys trying the bottom to keep the car really straight, which costs you RPMs. You get guys up the top with the engine all wound up. There's Capps with a slide job.
You see, Brad kind of let it happen there. He said, hang on a second. I didn't take care of this car a little bit, so you kind of let him slide up into that cushion there. And you see all these guys, really, a lot of them were trying to run the top, but we saw him run the bottom before that pass, and he was running pretty well.
So Tony Stewart's going to get the white flag. Last lap of heat race number 1. Labonte second, Capps third, Schrader and Keselowski race for fourth. And Tony Stewart has served notice that he'll be hard to handle in the main event.
Yeah, you want to say fast. That was like, 6 or 7 laps? And he's put a straightaway on Bobby Labonte.
So checkered flag, heat race number 1 to Tony Stewart. Labonte second, Capps third, Schrader fourth, Keselowski fifth. Followed by Newman and Kenseth. And the exclamation point on this heat race put on by Tony Stewart. So an eventful heat race number 1. Now Smoke will go to the back to start the second of our 2 heats.
Welcome back to the Camping World SRX Series. A Thunder from an absolute jewel in the motorsports world. Eldora Speedway, middle of the cornfields in Ohio, very close to that Indiana border. And it's had a, if you build it, they will come vibe from the very beginning. It's always drawn big, enthusiastic crowds of incredibly loyal race fans who have been, in turn, they've been rewarded with some of the biggest names in motorsports for the last 70 years. Eldora was built in 1954 by Earl Baltus, a prominent area, wait for it, band leader. He was a showman with zero racing experience. It didn't matter. So over the course of a handful of years, he expanded the track, its size, and its slate of events. The Eldora 500, the World 100, the King's Royal, big races with some really big purses, many of them still run today with the support of Eldora's new owner. And if you were just watching heat number 1, the newest race winner as well, Tony Stewart, who bought this track back in 2004. And Stewart has continued to pay tribute to the Baltus legacy, envisioned by doing the prelude to the dream ahead of the dream. He brought back the truck series here too. Austin Dillon won that inaugural event. Chase Briscoe won it in 2018. Both of those drivers you see in the field tonight. Now, I mentioned it just a couple of seconds ago. Heat 1 is done and dusted, and the driver of that 14 car, Tony Stewart, is the winner. He is going to be someone to contend with in the main event. But something else to contend with is a lack of cars, Matt, after the carnage in heat number 1. What is up with the drivers for heat number 2?
Well, looking over here in the area, in the SRX garage area, Nicole, now behind me is Marco Andretti. He is in the blue and gold Goodyear backup car. He is buckling up as we speak. Right alongside is Haley Deegan. She's jumping in the orange SRX machine. She too buckling up. They're adjusting because remember, they do have the backup cars with somewhat adjustability as far as the seating position for the drivers due to their height builds. And that's what they're working on right now, trying to get them buckled in. But Joey, you've been in this situation before. You've seen this happen. A lot of feverish work going on down here, trying to get the drivers all comfortable as we get ready to go racing again.
Yeah, it's always an awkward thing, too, because it's a mad scramble just to get in the car and get everything going. Now, as a driver, you get really nervous, and you have to really take your time here for a second because safety is the number one thing. Make sure your seat, your belts, everything is right before you go back out there because it's a car you haven't even driven yet. You don't even know what it's about to do, so you have to be on that. But I want to talk to Ron Capps because I think so far he's done a tremendous job. Let's dial him up. Ron Capps, Joey Logano up here in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Joey.
Well, you've impressed all of us as a guy that just normally drives straight. I'm sure all your NHRA friends are very impressed because you're hanging with the roundy round guys, as you say. And so I want to say what you think. It looks to me like you're the second best car out there. I don't know what happened on the restart, but you got back up to third. What do you think?
Yeah, I actually didn't have race control, so I didn't know they were doing the choose, or I would have got up next to Smoke. So after I figured that out, and then I wasn't ready for the green, Joey. So my roundy round stuff needs a little more to be desired. But once I got going, I felt good. I got around Brad, and man, this is fun. I'm so out of my comfort zone. This is crazy.
There's no Christmas tree here to tell you when to go. Well, you're doing great. We're having fun watching you. Nicole, what do you got down there?
Well, we're going to have more roundy round to go because we're only one heat down. We got one more heat to go in the 75-lap main event. The Camping World SRX Series continues from Eldora Speedway. It's Thursday Night Thunder on ESPN. We'll be right back.
Well, get ready with the Kleenex afterwards because you're going to have a lot of dirt coming out of your nose, my friend. It's a lot of dust.
I really just chose things that are fun for me. So unless I have to race for a championship in something, I figure there's no reason to torture myself with dirt.
You know that it didn't have to be totally sideways to go fast. So, you got to be smooth on the throttle, which short track racing. And, it's a little dirty, but at the same time, but the track's prepped right. Doesn't drive like an outlaw late model or a sprint car, so you don't have to be completely sideways.
It is incredible experience. I really recommend the Kleenex in the race. Bricks coming out of your nose.
Drivers dishing about racing on the dirt. And it's been a rough night already here at Eldora Speedway. Austin Dillon's car apparently losing a radiator hose going into turn 3. Haley Deegan caught up in it, as were Chase Briscoe, Tony Kanaan, Marco Andretti. Matt Kenseth just barely got stopped. And that was just midway through the first of our 2 heat races tonight here at Eldora Speedway on Thursday Night Thunder.
The hose boat first. Oh, I got you.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah. It's clamped well, just...
Yeah, we talked about how that car was running hot. Yeah. A lap or 2 before that. And when it gets hot, it builds up a lot of pressure in there. It blew the lower radiator hose right off of that thing. So, unfortunately, that's what happens when you take these cars on dirt. We've seen this happen in NASCAR. If the track's a little bit too wet, too heavy, too tacky, those big clumps of rubber clog up that radiator screen, the grill right there in the front, and then they get no air, no cooling, and it gets hot and bad things happen.
As we just saw. So on the plus side of things, the SRX crew has the two of the backup cars out onto the speedway with Marco Andretti and Hailie Deegan behind the wheel, the drivers that are running full-time for the championship. You see Tony Kanaan not in a car for this second heat race, in fact, not in his driving uniform anymore. So that, not a good sign for TK's further participation in the night here at Eldora.
That's really just the crappy part about racing sometimes.
Yeah, right?
Like, you just get caught up in something and you're like, man, I came all the way here. I wanted to go race and I was having so much fun until I didn't. You know, it's just how it works. Other sports isn't like that, right? Other sports, you're going to go out there and you can play the whole game, right? Unless something really bad happens.
Yeah.
This is racing. Sometimes something happens in front of you, you can't do anything about it, and you go home early.
So the remainder inverted for the start of heat race number 2 with the two backup cars at the tail end of the field. So Matt Kenseth is on pole. Ryan Newman is outside. Row 2, Brad Keselowski and Ken Schrader. Row 3, Ron Capps, Bobby Labonte. Tony Stewart is in row 4. And then you've got Marco Andretti and Hailie Deegan, the other two drivers getting ready to start heat race number 2. 25 laps. Scheduled distance for this one, green flag.
A big start for Kenseth there in the bottom lane. Brad trying to follow him through down there. It's all about if he can get the launch off that bottom side there, which maybe Hank Schrader's trying to run the top, though.
So Kenseth in white, then Newman in the South Point machine. Schrader outside, Keselowski inside, gives Schrader third.
Well, there's no doubt where the grip is. You see them all running high. They're chasing that moisture up top. Yeah, the dirt's still a little bit moist up there. That's where all the grip is. That's where they want to be. They're running their right rear up into that. That's where the cars are going fast right now. So if you're willing to make the pass, if you're Ryan Newman right here, you got to commit to where you're going to get back up. See, he's trying to run a little bit lower there, but he's not going to get the drive off the corner.
White car, Bobby Labonte. Yellow car, Ron Capps. Behind them, Tony Stewart in the Bass Pro Shops machine. Be interesting to see how far forward he gets in our 25-lap heat race.
You see some good racing back there. Tony's on the way bottom trying to make that work. Tough to make that work. If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Tony. You see them kind of get into each other up top there. Tony going back up. Look, Capps figuring this out.
Fun to listen to Tony work the throttle there too, right?
It's fun. Here goes Tony. What on the pool slide?
Oh, he kept off him.
Cap said, I don't think so, buddy.
Good job, Stewart, staying off him.
Oh, he's in the wall.
Still going. But he has wrinkled up the right front fender of that bright yellow Napa machine, has Ron Capps. There's Marco Andretti by Capps. You see the front corner of that car. Caution, the car of Ron Capps did just shed a piece of that fender up inside turns 1 and 2, so we'll have a yellow flag while they clean that up, and then we'll do the choose and get back to racing. So first caution of heat race number 2 after Ron Capps tapped the wall with the right front corner of that Napa car. Matt Kenseth is our race leader. As you get a beautiful look at Eldora Speedway on Thursday Night Thunder. And the AMR safety team and the Eldora Speedway cleanup crew out to retrieve that piece of debris off of the Capps machine.
Capps is doing so good running that high side. Just get in there a little bit too high. You jump up over that cushion, and then everything above that cushion to the wall is just like clumped up dirt. Some people call it crumbs. I don't know. There's like a lot of dirt lingo. Someone's probably going to correct me on how to say all this stuff, but that stuff is what the difference is.
All right, quick break, and then the restart.
At Camping World, we make seeing America fun and affordable. Take home this new Coleman Lantern or Rubicon for as little as $5 a day.
5, 10, 15, 20.
Or this new travel trailer for less than $10 a day. $15 gets you a new fifth wheel. And for only $20 a day, you could drive off in a brand new motorhome.
5, 10, 15, 20.
We make RVing fun, simple, and affordable. See America for less at Camping World.
5, 10, 15, 20.
With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers across the country, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care. Here to be the fuel that keeps you firing on all cylinders.
This is the most dangerous race in the world.
Be the first to see Gran Turismo in theaters.
That's what I'm talking about.
Special sneak previews this weekend. Let's go. Gran Turismo, based on a true story. Rated PG-13.
Topo Chico Hard Seltzer. Refreshing flavors. Crisp taste. Crafted with soul. Always refreshing. Always diferente.
Get more from your morning routine. Make 20 cups of deliciously rich coffee with coffee made at home for the price of 1 cup from a coffee shop. Coffee's perfect mate. Coffee Mate.
At Simply Safe, your safety is the only thing that matters. Introducing 24/7 LiveGuard protection, only from Simply Safe. This exclusive technology allows Simply Safe agents to help stop crime in real time by speaking through the new Smart Alarm indoor camera.
Stop. This is Simply Safe. Police are on their way.
For instant intruder deterrence and faster police response.
Police have arrived. Your home is safe.
Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Eldora Speedway celebrating 70 years of racing. They have raced about everything on four wheels at this patch of territory up in Northwest Ohio, from stock cars and jalopies. Of course, Eldora really well known for its open wheel racing, the sprint cars, the midgets, and tonight known for hosting the Camping World SRX Series, its second visit here to this famed track in Rossburg, Ohio. Lights out on the pace truck, going to get ready to go back green flag racing in heat race number 2 with Ryan Newman and Matt Kenseth lined up on the front row. Looks like Kenseth has chosen the outside lane for the restart.
Which is interesting because he got the lead. If you remember the beginning of this heat race, he was on the bottom lane, had a great launch. Now he realizes the preferred lane is up top. Once you get to turn 1, though.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how he gets to start on this one.
Kenseth in white, Newman inside of him. Get ready for a trip across the restart line and a green flag.
It's a pretty good start down there on the bottom, but not good enough. Now watch Schrader here. Schrader's going to try to follow through to get the second.
And Schrader in the 52. Clear of Newman. Here comes Stewart down low in the 14.
And that move all looks good until you get right here, and he just can't bolt the power down. But he's going to keep trying.
Trying to catch a little grip. Schrader down low now on Kenseth. Up front for the race lead.
Schrader trying to pull a slider here. He's going to try to get up in front of Kenseth. Not quite. It's going to be tight on the exit. Schrader, experienced move, get back in line. He knows that Newman's right there. He's going to try to follow through. Don't let someone sneak to your outside. That's the name of the game here.
Kenseth, Schrader, and Stewart still not able to make that bottom lane work. He drops back to 4th behind Newman.
And this is where, if you're Ken Schrader or Ryan Newman, is a lot of risk on making the move to make the pass. Tony has no risk. If he doesn't make the pass, he gets right back in line. If Schrader doesn't make the pass, Newman's going to pass him. Tony's going to pass him. He's going to get stuck on the bottom. So when you make the move, you better be 100% sure you're going to clear him and take the lead. Or do it on the last lap or something like that.
Yeah. Well, Stewart still trying to slide in there and find a little grip underneath Ryan Newman. Schrader has a problem. Schrader just pulled to the inside off turn 4. Trouble for Ken Schrader.
That's a shame.
We welcome everybody who's been watching the Little League World Series to Rossburg, Ohio, and the Camping World SRX Series. We're dirt track racing tonight with the superstars of racing. This is the second heat race at an event. A race for second place here. Tony Stewart, 14. Ryan Newman, 39. Going on behind leader Matt Kenseth. It's been a tough night already mechanically for a number of drivers. Matt Yoakum has more.
Kenny Schrader was battling for the lead, and then the car simply quit. They asked him if it was overheating. He said no. Now it has refired, and he drove past the SRX pit crew here on pit road. Possibly he hit the kill switch. We don't know. We'll find out at the break.
All right, Matt, thanks. So Schrader back onto the racetrack as we work now with lap 14 being worked, 25 in this heat race. And Tony Stewart closing on Matt Kenseth for the race lead. Nicole Briscoe also with us tonight here at Eldora. There have been a lot of drivers visiting down there, Nicole, instead of being behind the wheel right now.
There's a lot of driver positioning down here because the SRX crews are busy trying to repair one of the cars that was heavily damaged in heat number 1. If this car is fixed in time for the main event, Tony Kanaan says he's getting in it. But Chase Briscoe and Austin Dillon are down here trying to plead their cases. The other caveat to all this, no one on the track right now they have to keep their cars clean, because if they need a backup car, well, then they all lose out.
Oh, look at that move by Tony Stewart to take the lead.
And Tony Stewart, he won the first heat race. He started in the back of this one. He's so much better than everybody. It's incredible. The amount of experience Tony Stewart has around Eldora is showing. His dirt experience as well. You can see all of his speed is made entry to center of the corner. He gets that car pitched and rolls so fast to the center of the corner that no one can really compete with what he's doing right now. He's been putting out a clinic, being patient, waiting, and now he's showing his full hand.
That is Marco Andretti in that Goodyear badged backup car. Marco involved in the big wreck in heat race number 1. His primary race car damaged too badly to continue. He's trying to work his way up from the back of this second heat race grid and see if he can pass Ryan Newman for third. Here's that pass for the lead, yeah.
Tony Stewart's move. The slide job to the bottom. He's going to slide up in front of Kenseth, get up to that outside where all the grip is, finish it, and then he's going to drive away.
Tony started this heat race back in 7th position. After winning heat race number 1, he's moved up to take the lead in heat race number 2. You saw the graphic a minute ago. Nobody's ever won both heat races on one night.
Well, unless something happens, I don't see that changing.
There's Marco Andretti, Matt.
Settling in 4th. Now, I spoke with Marco after practice, and he was almost beating himself up because he felt like he was too conservative on his practice laps. Now, keep in mind, Marco finished 2nd on the dirt a year ago, and he's tied for 2nd with the best average finish on the dirt. So high expectations coming in. He'd love to score a trophy finally on the dirt here in SRX.
And for a guy that comes from racing an open-wheel IndyCar on street and road courses and high-speed oval tracks, this racing on the dirt thing is totally new to Marco when he came to the SRX Series.
It definitely is. And we talked a little bit earlier about as this track gets drier and slicker, it's going to drive a little bit more like asphalt, meaning you don't have to have the car as sideways like we've seen Tony Stewart making all that speed. As it dries out, the faster cars are going to keep their cars a little bit straighter, use their front tires to turn, and you can see Marco doing that. You can see his front hands, his front tires turning to the left. There's Tony Stewart. His are to the right. Eventually, it's going to be faster to turn to the left. Now, at what point does that happen? Does it happen in the future or what?
Brad Keselowski just bounced off the wall in his car, and he's got pretty heavy damage to the right front as Tony Stewart takes the white flag. 1 lap to go in heat race number 2. Well, Tony has certainly been putting on a show so far tonight at the track that he owns, this Eldora Speedway. And he's going to come from 7th starting spot to finish first in heat race number 2. Stewart, Kenseth, Newman, Andretti, Labonte, the top 5 in heat race number 2. Now, everybody that's been watching us on ESPN2, the coverage is going to move and continue on ESPN for the rest of the night from Thursday Night Thunder. So pick up the clicker, jump on over a spot, and join us for our main event that comes up shortly from here in Ohio. Tony Stewart, his 10th total win in the Superstar Racing Experience. Heat races and main events combined. He's 2-2 so far tonight at Eldora. Thursday Night Thunder is brought to you by Camping World. Over 1 million RVs sold.
Certainly saw a number of campers out at the Eldora Speedway today getting ready for tonight's Camping World SRX series. And so far, we've been treated to a fun couple of heat races out here on the dirt track. Heat number 1 caused a lot of carnage. Heat number 2, a little tamer. The results, though, the exact same from heat number 1 to heat number 2. It's the guy who owns the track, Tony Stewart, the winner. I think, Matt Yoakum, he's going to be somebody to contend with when it comes to the main event, don't you?
If the smile, Nicole, is any indication, he's already won a trophy. As far as the fun participation factor going, you and Newman, was that patented Thursday Night Thunder fun?
Yeah, that's exactly what we used to do here on ESPN back in the day when we were both trying to make a name for ourselves and trying to get to the Cup Series. So it's fun. I mean, you can race with Matt Kenseth, you can race with Ryan, and especially on these dirt tracks. Matt's run the Prelude with us. Ryan's run dirt a lot. They know how you have to pass here. It's not like pavement racing. You got to do it a little bit different.
And you were trying to make a move, and then he was countering that move?
Yeah, I mean, you got to dive low to cut off real estate and get by, but when you do that, at some point, then you got to turn. And at the point I'm turning, Ryan's already got the corner turned and made and already heading down the hill. So that's the fun part is, if somebody makes a move, you already know and start your counter move to go along with it.
Patented Thursday Night Thunder fun, Nicole.
I'll take all of it, and so will Ron Capps. This is a driver who's used to going in a straight line. He's from the NHRA, so turning left or any direction at all, at least when it's not planned, is something new to him. Now, he's not going all Aladdin on us. It's not entirely a new world, but this is certainly a much different experience for Capps behind the wheel of this car.
Ron Capps is going to win the U.S. Nationals. He goes 391.3. History has come back full circle 365 days later, and he has finally completed the task.
As the lone NHRA representative, this is my world. This is an NHRA Nitro Funny car. As you can see, our Toyota Supra body, this is what helps us run 330 miles per hour on the drag strip. I won't be needing this at Eldora. This is good for downforce. I won't be needing that going into turn 3. This is what the fans see. Let me show you what really makes these cars so awesome. You got to remember that in an SRX car, you got a lot of room in there. And they talk about the vision not being great in SRX. I'd love to invite all my SRX compadres to come and sit in this thing. The Nitro Funny car, we sit right in the middle, much like a fighter pilot would. But this is the only steering wheel I have. We call it a butterfly steering wheel. My brake, it's not a foot brake, it's a hand brake. Also, I've got 2 parachutes mounted on the back to slow me down from going 339 miles per hour. As you can see, one laying right on the back there. But the best part about these is the G-forces. It's 0 to 100 miles per hour in less than 1 second from a standing stop. More G-forces than anything on planet Earth but a fighter pilot. 6 Gs I get thrown into. When I hit the parachute to slow down, it's negative 8 or 9 Gs. But that's the difference in my car versus an SRX car. But there is one thing in common. Very few people on the planet get to drive either of these race cars, either the funny car or SRX. And also, they're the most coolest thing to drive in the world. Engines in it. Tonight, SRX, I'm playing with 700 horsepower. My Nitro Funny car, 12,000 horsepower. We're going to warm it up, so you may want to step back a little bit.
A little Nitro fun, and it's always the little kid and the adult. You can see the smile. Having fun here tonight on the dirt. Now, you prepared by going on iRacing and running an ARCA car. How'd that pay off?
Pretty good, Heat 1.
Matt, first of all, every kid at home, this is a dream. If I could live this dream, you can do it too. Have your dad buy you a go-kart, get on iRacing. This is amazing. I screwed up because I jumped the cushion there. I'm not good at tearing tear-offs off, and I actually was fighting, and I got it right before turn 3, and by the time I looked up, it was too late, and I jumped the cushion, got on the wall. So they patched it up, and then I did it again. I'm so overwhelmed right now, but this is so awesome. These things are unbelievable. Elmore engines, so much power, but it is, I don't know if you can see the in-car when I'm driving, but oh my God, man, I'm just hanging on for dear life.
All right, he's hanging on for dear life, but you can see the smile on his face, Nicole. He is a kid having a blast here at Eldora.
He's definitely having a blast, but I think Matt Kenseth is as well. How would you describe your night so far?
It was eventful. The second heat was much better than the first. The first one, I was so far in the back and couldn't figure out where I was going. I had so much mud all over me, I couldn't even see. So I was glad I was able to get up front and run pretty decent there. Then when Tony got by me, I kind of knew what I was doing wrong, but it just gave me a little breathing room to try to figure it out a little bit.
Okay, so little known factor, perhaps it's well known, but like Matt doesn't just race cars. He races using his legs. And in a couple of weeks, what are you doing? What race are you doing now?
I have a friend that talked me into doing a ride across Wisconsin. It's not really a race, but we're riding our bikes. It's an event. I think it's 235 miles from La Crosse to Milwaukee in one day, so I don't know why I'm going to do something so dumb.
You need to get better friends. Try to do that.
Yeah, need an easier hobby.
Good luck out there tonight. A lot of dirt, a lot of fans as we're getting ready for the main event. It is a 75 laps coming your way from Eldora Speedway next on ESPN.
This summer, Camping World has taken the superstar racing experience to Connecticut and Stafford Speedway for a couple of weeks of racing. Then it was down to Pulaski County in Virginia for some thunder in the mountains, and thunderous it was. A week ago, we were in Grand Rapids, Michigan at Berlin Raceway, and now we're in the northwest corner of Ohio at the famed Eldora Speedway. Eldora was founded by the legendary promoter Earl Baltus and his wife Bernice, who, before the Speedway was created, were known for something else, the Eldora Ballroom here. See, Earl was a big band leader. And before the Speedway was built, he and his wife operated the Eldora Ballroom, sitting just outside Turn 4. This footage from a couple of years ago, when SRX visited Eldora for the first time. The ballroom was a big deal for years, then less so as racing became a bigger deal on the property. Well, Tony Stewart and his staff have started renovations on the Grand Old Gal, with construction to be completed sometime next year. Another fitting tribute to the legacy of a legendary figure that began not just for racing, but for music as a big band leader of the Bumblebees. That's Camping World at the track. We finish up next week outside of Springfield, Missouri at Lucas Oil Speedway.
The crews here at the Camping World SRX Series, they're incredibly busy and hardworking, but it has been a very busy night for these guys as they're trying to recover from some of these drivers who have been active out on the track. Yes, they're turning left, but some of them have been turning right a few more times than others. Unintentionally so, like Brad Keselowski, who is second in the points. That was right before the checkered flag in heat number 2. You see him there, right in front of Ron Cap's car in the blue 6. What happened, Matt?
Well, we're down here, Brad Keselowski. When you grow up a blue-collar short-track racer from Michigan, you work on your own stuff. It's a habit that you don't lose when you become a champion in NASCAR. And Brad Keselowski is underneath the car. You can see him turning wrenches. He was helping set the tow a little earlier on. He's got the flashlight on the forehead. He's helping that SRX crew get this 6 machine back out on the racetrack, Nicole. Repairs going on. We'll catch up with Brad in just a little bit, but it's cool to see you never lose your roots, no matter what level in racing you climb to.
That 6 machine is in much better shape than the 57 machine. That was the one that was driven by Chase Briscoe, and we have not seen him in the car since heat number 1. What are the chances you get out there for the main event?
Yeah, I'd say slim to none. I think Slim's about to leave town, so I don't know. I mean, there's a chance maybe they get it done, or I don't know if they let me even go out if there's 20 laps in already, but yeah, I had a lot of fun. The 6-7 laps I got to run, just Austin Blue radiator line or something, and we all just went in there and it was like we were on ice. So unfortunate. We're just kind of feeling it out, and obviously tore up a lot of really good race cars there. So yeah, hopefully they can get it fixed. But if not, I still had a great time, even though I only got to run 6-7 laps.
Okay, let's talk about something very important. This is Chase Briscoe. I am Nicole Briscoe. We are not related in any way. In fact, We've never even met each other until tonight.
Yeah.
That is your 5-minute warning. So hopefully Slim and Nunn get together and you get back in that car.
Yeah, hopefully so. Yeah, it's nice to meet you. I know people have been tweeting at me and everything for years, and you haven't been at any family reunions, so yeah, definitely not related. Weird coincidence for sure, but yeah, nice to finally meet you today.
Thank you. No relation, Chase. Back over to you, Matt.
And Brad Keselowski helping the SRX guys set the toe. Brad, what happened?
I just jumped the cushion, bottomed out the right front a little bit, jumped the cushion, and brushed the wall of the right front. Just barely bent the lower end a tiny bit, so it's towed out. So just have to make a little adjustment.
All right, a little adjustment to this 6th, and we'll be ready to go here shortly. You heard the horn. We're getting closer and closer to going back to green. Nicole?
Oh, we did hear that horn, so we'll get ready for that. Plus, we're getting ready for SportsCenter. It is next following the SRX Camping World Series here at Eldora Speedway with Don Buccigross and Kevin Connors. It's NFL preseason week 1, and it starts with the Texans and the Patriots. We're going to get a first look at C.J. Stroud under pressure. The Baltimore Orioles trying to avoid being swept by the Astros, plus Colin Morikawa donated $1,000 for each birdie he's going to make at the FedEx Cup playoffs for Maui Recovery. That's on SportsCenter with John and Kevin coming up next right here on ESPN, both the TV and the app. Coming up here from Eldora, 75 laps of a main event. You're not going to want to miss it. It's also next.
Maximize your freedom and value in a pre-owned RV from Camping World. With over 18,000 used RVs to choose from and starting at less than $5 a day. We have a floor plan to fit your family's needs and a payment to fit your budget. Like an RV that sleeps 5, just $350 a day. Or an RV that sleeps 7, just $730 a day. It's no wonder Camping World is America's used RV supercenter. Start your journey here and see America for less. Camping World. Over 1 million RVs sold.
Purdue University in Indianapolis. Innovating, instigating, persistently pursuing the next giant leap. Purdue University in Indianapolis, offering the only accredited motorsports engineering program in the U.S. Arriving fall 2024.
This is the most dangerous race in the world.
Be the first to see Gran Turismo in theaters.
That's what I'm talking about.
Special sneak previews this weekend. Let's go. Gran Turismo, based on a true story. Rated PG-13.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket.
I started my own app company, and with Cricket, I'm able to answer calls from my engineers and investors and know my signal's going to be great.
5G boss mode activate. Smile. You're on Cricket.
$273. This is how much you spend every month on subscriptions.
I only have like 2 or 3, right?
That's what we all think. But in reality, we have so much more that we don't even know we're paying for.
So how do I put more of this cash back in my pocket?
Rocket Money is a financial app that tells you every subscription you're paying for. Even that one you forgot about from 5 years ago.
Huh, I can't believe I'm still paying for this. I'll call and cancel right now.
Wait. With Rocket Money, they even cancel it for you.
Really?
All you have to do is tap a few buttons, and they'll take care of it. Download Rocket Money today.
Fantastic, Checo.
Superb racing.
Yes, guys.
Back at Eldora Speedway, where we're getting a look at some images taken last week at our event at Berlin Raceway. Images taken by Kirk West, who spent more than 2 decades as the manager of the Allman Brothers Band. Kirk and his wife, Kirsten, they live in Macon, Georgia, where they created the Big House Museum. And that is the destination for fans of the Allman Brothers. But they also own the Gallery West, which features some of his photography, which he is taking now. It's so good to have him back at the track. He is a lifelong race fan and music fan, and he is doing what he loves. We're doing what we love, and next Thursday we'll be at Wheatland, Missouri, at another one of the country's premier dirt tracks. It's Lucas Oil Speedway for the season finale. Week 6 of our summer schedule. Coverage begins 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, right here on ESPN. Matt, that's when Ryan Newman is hoping to wrap up the championship.
And Newman also doing what he loves, running just about everything this year, fun meter pegged. And that's what your old teammate Tony Stewart said. It was almost like you guys outrunning midgets. You knew what move he was going to do. He knew what move you were going to do. This is all part of the SRX fun, especially here at Eldora.
Yeah, it is. It's a whole lot of fun, especially racing with one of the greatest at his home track, I guess you could say. But man, it's just a blast. The track's a little heavier and we're a little tighter than I expected. We're going to do our best to get this South Point Casino's car up there, and it's like I said, it's fun racing with the best, and this is an awesome dirt track.
And you talked about how the track changes. What do you expect in the next 75 laps?
Well, that's it. It's 75. We had two breaks of 25 there, and the track changed a little bit, but I think it'll continue to get slicker. Definitely a different racetrack in Turn 3 than it is in Turn 1. I think the way the track gets shaded makes Turn 1 a lot tackier. So hopefully it'll come to us because I'm so tight, and we'll see if we got something there for them in the end.
One of the funnier scenes, Nicole, I was watching several of the SRX crew members. They were actually scraping and dumping about a bucket load of dirt outside of Newman's race car that had accumulated on the back glass panel there.
Yeah, there is a lot of dirt that accumulates, and if you've never been to a dirt track before, that is one of the things that amazes you the most. Literally buckets of dirt falling off these cars, guys.
Nicole standing here with Joey, just looking at some of the scenes, the pictures we're seeing, reviewing some of the events that we've had so far tonight. What's the one thing that stands out to you the most that we've seen so far tonight that we can look ahead to in the main event?
Carnage. Lots of carnage out there. Unfortunately, everyone's struggling down there to get all their cars put back together. We've seen Brad down there working on. He had an amazing headlamp there, working on his car, getting it ready to go. It's going to be challenging. It's hard for the drivers out there. If someone wrecks in front of them, they can't stop quick enough to stay out of the wreck. So survival is going to be key. We heard Newman a second ago that the ends are different. The track's still changing. That's going to continue to happen. It's dirt racing. I don't think it ever stops changing. So we saw them all chasing the top. Yeah. Will they wear the top out and then the bottom start to come back in? That's the question I think is going to be answered in the feature.
Joey mentioned some of the carnage we've had so far tonight. First one of these SRX races where we can truly say we had the big one. Like you get it like Talladega or something. This early in midway through our first heat, Austin Dillon had a mechanical failure. A radiator hose on his car went straight into the Turn 3 wall, and the aforementioned can't stop on the dirt track led to that.
And no driver did anything wrong there. Yeah. Just racing. Just things happen. A part broke, and it watered down the racetrack, and they slid on in there. There's no stopping. That's just the bad part about racing is all that is.
Yeah, sure enough. And then you saw the Brad Keselowski hit. His car is starting to roll from the pit lane to rejoin. So recapping our night so far, besides the carnage, Tony Stewart won both of our heat races tonight. Had the 6-car wreck. Only 7 cars finished the heat, which was the fewest we've ever had in one of our SRX races. And for Tony Stewart, certainly established as the clear favorite to win this main event on a track that he owns.
Absolutely. I mean, he did an amazing job coming back through the field in the second heat race. He had started last, right? And he went all the way through. That was pretty impressive. And we see the speed he's got. But we'll see. Every race is always different. Yes. Like I said, the track changes a little bit. It may not fall into his wheelhouse quite as much. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll have to wait and see.
So 3 drivers will not make the bell for the main event. Austin Dillon, Chase Briscoe, and Tony Kanaan, all done after that big wreck earlier tonight. A couple of others got into backup cars. Haley Deegan, Marco Andretti are in. Brad Keselowski, you saw him laying on the ground under his car. There he is, out on the racetrack, ready to rejoin the main event.
They used all the people they got to get every car out there that they possibly could here. Unfortunately, a couple of them are still in the pits and didn't quite get out there. But yes, definitely going to be an interesting race for sure to see how this goes. And see some of the trouble spots. When you look at the high side there, look at the corner exits and the entry. See all that? I think they call it crumbs in the dirt world. But when you get up in that, that's like ice. That's the marble. We call it marbles in our asphalt world. You get up in that, and that's just going to suck you right into the wall. So you want to get as close as you can to it because that's where the speed is.
There's grip on the edge of it.
But when you go over it, it's Not good.
The cushion, I believe, is the term you're looking for, right? You don't want to jump the cushion.
Well, you jump the cushion, there ain't nothing left anymore.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's an area you can survive. I think right now you're going to go into the fence.
So fans here at Eldora who've been coming in since before the gates opened early afternoon today, giving the drivers a nice send-off salute. And they're coming down to get the 1 to go signal to get ready to start our main event. How about it? The pyro, the fans, the flashlights.
SRX has done a great job at all these races I've been to so far at bringing fans to these racetracks to see it. Now, Eldora is a beast of its own, right, where they have so many big races here all the time for dirt lovers, right, race fans that just love dirt racing. But where else are you going to see this type of stuff? And when, like we said, we were in Berlin last week, packed the place out, bigger crowd than they've ever had. To me, that is one of the main points of what SRX is. It brings people to those racetracks that otherwise wouldn't have a crowd that big.
It's the superstars of racing on your local short track. So here we go, our 75-lap main event. Tony Stewart, Bobby Labonte on the front row. Ron Capps, Ryan Newman in row 2. Matt Kenseth and Ken Schrader in row 3. Green flag, and we're racing at Eldora.
See right off the bat, Tony Stewart, he picked the bottom, had a good launch, and they're all sliding up, trying to find that grip, figure out where it is for the feature.
And remember, 75 laps is a pretty good distance, so better be thinking about, you said it earlier, survival mode here for this beginning.
Absolutely. You got to be there to be able to finish this thing and even have a shot to win. And it looks to me like the top is still going to be dominant. You see Marco Andretti back there in the Goodyear car able to make some passes up there on the top side.
How about Brad Keselowski in that light blue number 6? Back of his uniform was dirty. He was laying under the car with the flashlight on his head, helping the crew get the front end set, getting it fixed up so he could be out here and race some more.
I'm not surprised. Brad's a grinder. Brad is a worker. There's not many people that put in more hours on anything. I'm not saying just race cars, and any of his other businesses and things he does. I've gotten to know Brad and his family really well over the years. My man's a grinder.
He's grinding with Marco Andretti for that spot now as that car slid wide on him. Looking back from Ron Capps and the Napa on board. There it is, Andretti in the Goodyear car. Keselowski in the Camping World machine, and Haley Deegan in the orange car behind. That's a backup car for Haley also after she got swept up in the big mess in the first heat race.
You see the top end. You see every now and again someone gets a little bit too high and they get in trouble. And they get a little bit into that stuff. And here's the guy that does it the best, Tony Stewart. Running right up there sideways. He's really got to figure it out.
Love the white gloves.
Driving away here. Copy, not trying our promise. No, Labonte's still second.
I'd hate to see what trying looks like.
It's Kevin Ridley, the crew chief, one of the SRX crew chiefs. Ooh, Bobby Labonte had trouble behind Tony Stewart. Kept it off the wall. He's no longer second. Now it's Ryan Newman, the next car behind Smoke.
Let's dial up Smoke since he's not trying hard. Tony Stewart, Joey Logano up here. You got me?
Yeah, man, what's happening?
Well, we just heard that you weren't trying hard, so we figured it's a good time to come down and say hello to you. I'd hate to see, look at you. I could only imagine what trying looks like. It really looks like you got this figured out and you're about a league of your own. How's it feel?
I actually feel really, really good, really balanced. This track's going to keep changing. It's going to get slicker as we go here, but my balance is good. I feel like I don't really have to take care of it. It's been really cool running these Goodyear radials here. It's not something we're used to on dirt, but it's a good tire.
Well, you got a pretty decent sized lead. You got a 1.6 second lead over Newman, but your boy Schrader is right behind him.
Caution out.
A caution out here. Slow her down. You got a caution there, bud.
All right, Marco Andretti got tangled up racing into turn number 1 with another vehicle. He wound up getting the worst of it, and you see some damage on the far side of that machine. The burgers do smell good. We missed dinner time. Great food here.
At Camping World, we make seeing America fun and affordable. Take home this new Coleman Lantern or Rubicon for as little as $5 a day.
5, 10, 15, 20.
Or this new travel trailer for less than $10 a day. $15 gets you a new fifth wheel. And for only $20 a day, you could drive off in a brand new motorhome.
5, 10, 15, 20.
We make RVing fun, simple, and affordable. See America for less at Camping World.
5, 10, 15, 20.
With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers across the country, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care. Here to be the fuel that keeps you firing on all cylinders.
I'm Jason. I'm living with HIV, and I'm on Cabenuva. It helps keep me undetectable.
For adults who are undetectable, Cabenuva is the only complete long-acting HIV treatment you can get every other month.
Cabenuva is 2 injections given by my healthcare provider every other month. It's really nice not to have to rush home and take a daily HIV pill.
Don't receive Cabenuva if you're allergic to its ingredients or if you're taking certain medicines which may interact with Cabenuva. Serious side effects include allergic reactions, post-injection reactions, liver problems, and depression. If you have a rash and other allergic reaction symptoms, stop Cabenuva and get medical help right away. Tell your doctor if you have liver problems or mental health concerns, and if you are pregnant, breastfeeding, or considering pregnancy. Some of the most common side effects include injection site reactions, fever, and tiredness. If you switch to Cabenuva, attend all treatment appointments. Ready to treat your HIV in a different way? Ask your doctor about every other month Cabenuva.
Every other month, and I'm good to go.
Don't think, just react.
This weekend, treat yourself to a sneak preview of Gran Turismo.
Let's be immortal.
It will make you stand up and cheer.
That was actually pretty great.
That sounds so surprised.
Gran Turismo, based on a true story. Rated PG-13.
You saw the work going on feverishly on Marco Andretti's car down to the pit lane to try and get him back on the track before the green flag. That is Andretti, the blue and gray machine with the Goodyear logo on the hood. He ran up on Ron Capps into the corner.
Yeah, you see, just kind of got... He's driving the car really straight. He doesn't have much angle there at yaw. And you look, as soon as they touch, you can see his right front tire is locked up. Now, whether that's from the brake that he's hitting or the fender that got into the tire, maybe locked up the tire. Either way, when tires aren't rolling, they have no grip.
Yeah, that's a problem.
You get on up there and you hit the wall, but it looks like he's got a new right front on it.
Marco anxious to go, but the crew not going to let him go until that car is totally buttoned up and safe to compete in. So field doubled up here for the restart, and coming to the green flag, Tony Stewart, the leader, has chosen the outside lane. And now he's got Ken Schrader inside of him as Newman will take the outside lane behind Stewart.
And this is a big moment for Ken Schrader right here. If he can get a good start, which he did, he get up in front of Ryan Newman, which he does really well. That's going to put him in position here to give Tony a run for it.
Bobby Labonte digging down low, trying to get up in front of Newman as well. Newman will rocket past on the outside, and here comes Haley Deegan in the orange machine. Backup car for Deegan, who has run really well on the dirt in SRX competition before.
It definitely seems like Haley Deegan's wheelhouse a lot of times is, surprisingly enough, on dirt, which I think she's driven a lot of things on dirt before.
Yep. Best finish in SRX competition for Deegan came in Knoxville, Iowa, the famed dirt track there that's hosting the Knoxville Nationals. For sprint cars this weekend, she finished second to Tony Stewart. I know it wasn't much of a trivia question, because you do pay attention to these things.
Well, she's definitely hanging with Ryan Newman right here. This is going to be a good race here as they keep pushing themselves closer and closer to that cushion.
David Stremme, who does all the test driving of these SRX cars, has really been talking to Haley a lot about trying to round out some of the driving skill that she needs to compete in these cars here. And you could see some of the results, I think. So tip of the cap to David for being a little bit of a coach as well.
Yeah, Strummer's done an amazing job. We watched him make some practice laps earlier. Yeah. A man has driven every one of these cars, and he has an amazing feel for them. That's for sure. He was doing a great job of it.
All right, so Stewart is the leader. Schrader is second. I believe that yellow flag rudely interrupted your conversation with Smoke.
It did. We were leading on to something here. Let's see if we can get Tony back. Tony, we're back. You got me?
I about had to get my hands untangled there.
Well, every time I come to you, the caution comes out. I'll try again. Oh, God.
Yeah, no worries. We'll be here for a while.
Yeah, we will. Not even a third of the way through. That is Brad Keselowski, who's sitting down on the inside of the racetrack, facing the wrong direction. Over in turn number 2. So, yeah, second yellow flag of our main event. Doesn't look like Brad hit anything, though, so he should be good to go for our restart. Look in the distance, bottom of the screen. Yeah, he's not going to save that.
Maximize your freedom and value in a pre-owned RV from Camping World. With over 18,000 used RVs to choose from and starting at less than $5 a day. We have a floor plan to fit your family's needs and a payment to fit your budget. Like an RV that sleeps 5, just $350 a day. Or an RV that sleeps 7, just $730 a day. It's no wonder Camping World is America's used RV supercenter. Start your journey here and see America for less. Camping World. Over 1 million RVs sold.
Bass Pro Shops in Cabela's stands tall in our unwavering commitment to honoring our heroes. We extend our gratitude beyond words by proudly offering a legendary salute discount to those who protect our freedoms. Our dedication to those who selflessly serve us runs deep within our DNA. It's not just a discount, it's a commitment to making a difference. Because every day is a chance for us to say thank you. Bass Pro Shops in Cabela's. Your adventure starts here.
Why did we choose Safelite? For us, driving around is the only way we can get our baby to sleep. So when our windshield cracked, we can't drive this. We needed it fixed right. We went to Safelite.com. There's no one else we'd trust. Their experts replaced our windshield and recalibrated our car's advanced safety system. They focus on our safety, so we can focus on this little guy.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
If RPMs raise your BPMs, if the open road is an open invitation, then get up and go. Go turn some heads. Go turn a wrench. Go windows down. Go volume up. Go in. Go out. Go off. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Live Eldora Speedway in Rossburg, Ohio. The Camping World SRX Series, week 5 of 6 in Thursday Night Thunder this summer. This time and next week as well, racing on the dirt instead of on a paved track. Tony Stewart is our race leader. Bass Pro Shops machine outside of Ken Schrader. In the federated car, they'll line up side by side again for our restart that is going to come just shy of the 1/3 mark in our main event.
And we talked about this restart before. Kenny Schrader took the bottom. Was able to slide up behind Tony Stewart in second place. Ryan Newman wasn't able to keep the gap close. Can Ryan Newman keep it close this time? It looks like he's going to.
Haley D getting orange, looking low. 3 wide for second place.
Maybe not a good drive for Kenny Schrader off the bottom.
Oh, Schrader slides up in front of Newman and clears it. Now here's Newman with the crossover.
And Newman slides. Slides. Oh no, it cuts down his front there. Something happened.
Caution flag is out. Just the slightest contact between Newman and Schrader, and that was enough.
Yeah, it really didn't take much there. That's kind of a bummer. Because they had a good race going, and really that was, to me, one of a 3-car battle for second place was going to be Newman, Deegan, and Ken Schrader, and the left front's not rolling. Which we've seen that happen with Marco Andretti's car, but on the right front, if the body's just knocked in or he actually has damage there. And here's the race we were talking about. Such a good race going here. Schrader gets in front of him. Newman, great crossover move here. You're going to see Newman on the bottom. He's going to try to pull a bit of a slider. It's racing. Nobody's real fall. Here's a good view of it.
I think the contact with the wall on the right side did more damage than... You hear that?
Yeah.
That sound, something went down. Either that left front tire or something on the right side of that car after that contact. You could hear it. And so Schrader's out. They'll hook it up to the tow truck. No, I'm not going to ask. And we're under caution.
Hook it up
here at Eldora.
5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. At Camping World, we make seeing America fun and affordable. Take home this new Coleman Lantern or Rubicon for as little as $5 a day. 5, 10, 15, 20. Or this new travel trailer for less than $10 a day. $15 gets you a new fifth wheel. And for only $20 a day, you could drive off in a brand new motorhome. 5, 10, 15, 20. We make RVing fun, simple, and affordable. See America for less at Camping World. 5, 10, 15, 20.
In the heart of the Midwest, Purdue University is building the future of cybersecurity, advanced manufacturing, microelectronics, AI, biomedical engineering, analytics, sports technology, motorsports engineering, and pharmaceutical discovery. From Purdue, home to more undergraduate STEM students than any other major research university in America, comes Purdue University in Indianapolis. This new urban campus will further extend Purdue University's mission and impact, creating a first-of-its-kind hard tech corridor. Uniting Purdue's West Lafayette flagship campus with the capital city of Indianapolis, linking industry to world-class educators, researchers, and students who will tackle the world's toughest challenges together. Innovating, instigating, persistently pursuing, boldly moving us all forward with the next giant leap. Purdue University in Indianapolis.
Don't think, just react.
This weekend, treat yourself to a sneak preview of Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Let's be immortal. It will make you stand up and cheer.
That was actually pretty great.
That sounds so surprised. Gran Turismo, based on a true story. Rated PG-13.
I wonder, how does 2-in-1 shampoo conditioner even work?
Something on your mind? Chew on it. Twizzlers.
So much anticipation for this fight. This is an unbelievable main event. I might start Jermaine Sterling, best in the world at 135. The Sugar Show. The mindset is championship level. 2 undisputed titles on the line.
Lights out on the pace truck, and it pulls away. We're doubled up for a restart. It'll be this time Ryan Newman to the inside of Tony Stewart. Bobby Labonte choosing the outside lane in row number 2 for this green flag. Here they come.
And now, like the start before this, you got Bobby Labonte up there on top. He's going to try to close that door before Ryan Newman can slide up in that black car, and he's able to get up in there.
Haley Deegan digging down low in the orange machine.
What a run off the bottom Haley Deegan got there.
So Deegan will slide back into 3rd position, just ahead of Labonte, who's up there kicking up the dust, but I think he kept it off the wall. An update on the Briscoes, or a Briscoe from...
A Briscoe, not related to me, but we're going to go with it. Chase Briscoe was involved in that heat number 1 bracket. He's just climbed back into his car. I said, are you going to race? He's missing some body work, but he said, I'm going to try, and he's in there now, waiting for the go.
If you come this far, let me go have some fun, man. I'm with Chase on that one. Let's go.
Well, Chase Briscoe said the reason that tonight was going to be so special for him, he's always wanted to race with Tony Stewart. And he's determined to get out there and have his chance to try and race against Tony. Is that Schrader getting back in his car, Matt?
It is, and Kenny Schrader, with the help of his old test driving buddy, David Strumming, who's shining a little light here so Schrader can get the belt. Was the right front up, Kenny?
The right front was up. Ryan got in there, and I knew he was coming, you know, and he didn't do nothing wrong. I should have given it to him, but I got the right front in the stuff, and it just sucked me in.
All right, he's going to get belted up here. The tow truck has already dropped the car. They have fixed the right front fender. That 52 getting ready to roll out as soon as he can get himself all buckled up with the helmet on. You can see him there get the chin strap. A lot of work here on Schrader's car.
Ken's a racer. He's going to get out there and keep on grinding. How about Haley Deegan in orange trying to get around Ryan Newman for second place? Tony Stewart's got about a half a straightaway lead on this, but what a determined fight here. Both on Deegan's part to try and get around cleanly, and on Newman's part to try and stay ahead cleanly.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a risk versus reward for these two right here. We talked about it all night long. The higher you get, the faster you go. The higher you get, the bigger risk it is to get in the, as Kenny Schrader calls it, the stuff.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in the stuff.
Stuff is not good.
He probably calls it something else when he's not on TV.
Valid observation on your part, yes. Just so impressive watching Tony Stewart wheel a dirt track car around the onboard view with taking the one hand off the steering wheel and just totally in control while it looks out of control. Does that make sense?
Yep. And he is in control, right? He's got, we just seen it a second ago, he still has more angle in his car. I mean, he's got the rear sliding out more than anybody else. And he's just kind of cruising. I mean, yeah, this is cruising, but he's working pretty hard. But he's working through there.
And you can't even see his feet there because he's constantly working the throttle, right? You're helping to turn the car with the gas pedal.
That's such a big thing in dirt racing is you use your pedals as much or more than the steering wheel. And you see how much he's working the steering wheel. Now, as the track's getting slicker and slicker like it is right now, he's going to get smoother. You want to be smoother with your pedals, smoother with your applications of the steering wheel, all those things. But when the track was heavy and gripped up to start the race, it's Hammer City. It's all you got. On and off the gas all the way, trying to make the car turn. Now it's driving more and more like a closer to a really slick asphalt track.
Marco Andretti, Brad Keselowski pictured there. Andretti in the Goodyear machine, Keselowski in the Camping World car. This is a race for position, 6th and 7th. And you saw those championship standings a minute ago. Marco, one of the drivers fighting for the championship, and that's why...
Whoa, he got the stuff. He got a little bit high. Brad put the pressure on him. Now, this is the point of the run where I really thought Brad was going to start to excel. We've seen this happen in the Bristol Dirt Race before. Brad, in the heavy track, not really in his wheelhouse. When it gets slick, like it is right now, this is where Brad starts to come into his own and start going pretty fast, and he's really cooking off some lap times right now.
Another look here as they screamed off to turn 3.
It's that risk versus reward and that pressure you apply. And he just forced Marco into a mistake. But fortunately for Marco, not that big of one. He's still racing.
Brad just jumped up into the stuff a little bit, kept it off the wall, though. These two guys having a whale of a race. Chase Briscoe, you saw come back onto the speedway. Ken Schrader's back on the racetrack. And now that fight for second place is getting close and interesting again. Deegan in orange, Newman in the South Point car.
These two been just dogging each other all night long right here. You see Deegan get a little bit high there, got in the stuff a little bit, got it crossed up, lost a little bit of time now. She's got to slowly, methodically start catching Newman again. Newman's not making mistakes is what I've realized through this whole thing. He's been very consistent at just hitting his mark.
Driving on the dirt, nothing new for Ryan Newman. Earlier in his career, on his way up to becoming a NASCAR superstar, Newman went through the USAC open wheel ranks, running places like this in a midget car, a sprint car, or a Silver Crown machine. Former USAC Silver Crown national champion Ryan Newman.
And that's why Newman's leading the championship in SRX right now. The guy's just He's a machine. He's just running the same lap over and over again. He's done that every race so far this season.
Watch the left front tire on Brad Keselowski's machine as he goes through these corners. Watch him working the steering wheel.
He's going to the right, to the left, to the right, to the right, to the right.
While the gas pedal is going up, down, up, down, up, down. Oh, don't get up in the stuff there, Brad.
And he's trying. I tell you, he's trying hard. I told you, he's a grinder. He's still out there trying.
Man, RFK Racing, Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing, 2 consecutive wins in the NASCAR Cup Series. Brad with a great run last Sunday at Michigan. Headed to Indianapolis this week, as are you.
It's definitely something they should be very proud of, and I know they are. But boy, we're going to make sure that ends this week. We need to win one, too.
Oh, just barely got off that one. At the look ahead from Ron Capps.
Now, we've seen Brad working on the front end of that car. He got in the wall pretty hard at the end of his heat race there as the caution comes out. But what I was talking about is he was trying to adjust his toe. That means there was something bent there, and he was trying to fix it. There's probably other things that was bent in that, but overall, he's hanging in there.
Well, one of the reasons Brad said he wanted to jump in and do this Camping World SRX Series was because he doesn't get to race enough, and he thought the reps would help him on the NASCAR side. Statistical proof, perhaps, of a theory proved well.
Seems like it's working for him.
All right, this caution, a fun flag with 22 laps to go in our main event. Watching Tony Stewart, who for a lot of the races run that higher line, right? But in this last segment of the race was down the bottom, feeling it out. He had a bit of a lead. If a caution comes out and he's got to race with somebody, how's the bottom going to work? Well, he was down there checking it out.
I think there's some of that. I think there's also that with that big of a lead, let's not risk it and hit the wall.
Looking back at some of the highlights of our night tonight, Ron Capps started on pole for our first heat race. A heat race that featured a Tony Stewart pass for the lead and the big one. Austin Dillon had a radiator hose let go in his car. Stacked up, Haley Deegan, Tony Kanaan, Chase Briscoe, Marco Andretti. Matt Kenseth barely missed it. And that the downer on the night for sure. Stewart roared away to win heat race number 2, so that put him at, heat race 1, which put him at the back for heat race 2. Didn't matter.
Not a problem. Look at him just send it in there. This is where Tony Stewart has just annihilated everybody, is the turn entry. The 1/3 to the center, right into the corner. He has destroyed everybody.
We've had our share of other bumps and bangs. That was Brad Keselowski wrapping the wall with his car. Spent the intermission trying to get it fixed up and did make the flag for the main event. This was Marco Andretti tangling with Ron Capps. Andretti has returned after damage repaired to that machine. And that was Ken Schrader after getting just the slightest of contact from Ryan Newman. Getting into the, quote, stuff, end quote. And Schrader back on the track now after repairs to his machine. So getting ready to go racing with 20 laps to go in our main event. And lights are out on the pace car. There's a look at Kenny at work behind the wheel of the Federated machine. So it's Stewart choosing the outside lane for the restart. Newman to his inside. And Deegan choosing the outside lane for row 2 with Bobby Labonte moving down to the inside for this restart.
And I like this battle between Haley Deegan and Ryan Newman right here. The preferred lane's the top lane. We've seen that the whole time. Ryan Newman's going for the bottom here. We've talked about this on every restart. It's up to Deegan to stay as close as she can to Tony's rear bumper and close that gap. And it looks like she might here. Newman's going to try everything he can down the bottom, but it looks to me like Haley Deegan's going to be able to get to second place, and the crowd's going wild about it.
Huge roar from this Eldora crowd as Deegan goes to second place. Now Stewart with the orange machine behind him as the laps begin to wind down.
So you're really crossed up there on the exit. You don't want to get that sideways, especially on the exit. That's where you lose all your momentum. You want to kind of drift it through the corner and then straighten it out.
Being in the back of the pack, and it's Ron Capps who catches the wall with the nose of that machine. Yellow flag is out.
It's a shame for Ryan. He did such a good job in Heat 1 in particular. And it seems like once he got kind of stuck there in the back, it's changed his whole night.
Well, again, as you see the damage to Schrader's car in that, huge props for Ron Capps for coming so far out of his comfort zone to give this a try. So, into turn 3, and that just
sent it in there a little bit hard. He got on the brake a little bit too much, and
just trying to see if that contact had anything to do with it.
I don't think it did.
Right here.
And it could have come down his right rear there, possibly. It may have cut down his right rear. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
Just look here. Looks like it's up. Looks like it's up. I think he just overcooked her a little bit.
Well, that's a tough ending to the night for Capps, who will head off to Heartland Park, Topeka, and resume his day job tomorrow in the NHRA Drag Racing Series.
He's going to go really fast tomorrow.
But again, just massive respect to Ron for coming out here and doing this. And yeah, he's got experience racing here at Eldora before in those dirt late models, but just what a different thing from his comfort zone and what he's used to.
And this is hard to do.
I told him before, I said, no matter what happens tonight, all props to you for coming out here and joining in with the superstars. And superstar he is. So as we work to clean up, Joey has the radio microphone in hand. Who would you like to speak with?
Let's talk to the second place driver, Haley Deegan. Haley Deegan, Joey Logano here in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Joey.
You're looking pretty good out there. You had a good restart, able to keep the gap shut so Newman couldn't get up there. Looks like you're in a good spot. You put a little pressure on Tony there. You might have a shot at this thing. What are you thinking in there?
So, I know Newman might pull a slider right now on Tony, so I feel like I'm putting myself in a position to where if he does that, I might be able to go under. But if not, the top is just quicker on the restart. So I'm going to restart here on the top and see how it goes again.
All right. Good luck in there.
Thank you, guys.
We'll jump off the radio because race control is going to give him the 1-to-go signal here.
Yeah,
that's what I was
I feel like I shouldn't be talking too much. It's going to be coming to, 12 to go?
I didn't know if you wanted to spot for her like you
I
did
could.
for Kyle last week.
I feel like, we were down there at the driver's meeting earlier. I feel like, they should have started lobbying for me to jump on and spot for them, especially on a restart like this. I could be that guy for a reasonable price,
Oh, that's what it comes to.
Gouge them on that. No.
That's what it comes to. Okay. All right, lights out on the pace truck. And the field going to come to the green flag this time. And you see 12 laps to go in our main event. So it's Stewart outside, Newman inside, then Deegan outside of Bobby Labonte, who's had a nice night in the Sport Clips machine.
So Haley's thinking that Newman's going to fire it out in there and pull a slider on Tony, and that she's going to capitalize. Let's see how this works out.
Green flag. Nice run off the top from Deegan. Newman bottled up. Brad Keselowski looking low on Bobby Labonte behind this race for the lead.
See how this track keeps getting wider and wider. All the stuff keeps moving up further and further to where they're going to be bounced off the wall every lap.
To go. Stewart still up there kicking up dust, trying to extend his lead while this scrap goes on for spots back in the pack.
Tony. Just so smooth. So smooth all the way through the corner. That's where he's making so much speed, his consistency, his comfort of driving the car right on the edge, right next to the wall here.
He's been the dirt track king in Camping World SRX Series races in our now 2+ seasons of racing on dirt tracks. The only race he didn't win was at Sharon Speedway in Pennsylvania, the end of the season last year, when he finished second to Chase Elliott.
You see him down the straightaway there. He almost keeps the car in constant yaw the whole time, all the way into the corner. He kind of keeps it pitched into the corner.
6 laps to go. And how about Hailie Deegan? Not just the drive she's having tonight, but remember, this was not the car she started the night in, as Brad Keselowski spins around again in turn number 2. Yellow flag is out. And the lap counter stops inside the final 10.
Well, we're going to see another shot at it. And I like this. Good. Re-rack him again. Let's go for it. And we've seen the battle. The battle's going to be Tony Stewart, Hailie Deegan, Ryan Newman.
Yep. So what happened here?
They're probably going to line up the same way. Here's Brad.
Same thing as the last one.
It seemed like he was that sideways, too. You almost wonder if he just... We talked about his front end being so bad that maybe he doesn't have as much steering wheel angle as he had before, right? He can't turn the wheel to the right as far as he could before, which doesn't allow him to drift it through the corner, if you will.
Yeah. Ron Capps coming back onto the speedway as the field gets the 1 to go signal. Restart next time by. So just to finish the story on Deegan, remember, she was swept up in the big wreck in the first heat race. Climbed into this backup car. They got her refitted, and she's out here running second in the main event after starting in the back in a backup car.
She's doing a great job tonight, for sure. Been consistently up front. Racing with the big dogs right there. Guys that have raced on dirt a lot in a lot of different kinds of cars.
And by the way, these Eldora fans giving Ron Capps a standing ovation as he came by the main grandstand to catch up to the pack, saluting the effort he's made tonight. So here we go with a restart with 6 laps to go. Stewart outside, Newman inside, Deegan outside, Labonte inside. Green flag.
There's just nothing in that bottom lane anymore. It's so dry, so slick. Newman's going to try to slide up. Yeah, he's going to get back to third here.
So Deegan to second. They were 3 wide in turn 2. They sorted it out. And Capps has taken that car back to the pit area, just a little too badly damaged for comfort. Chase Briscoe out there trying to put on a show in the closing laps as well, digging around on the bottom in that repaired car. But this is the race for the win right here. Tony Stewart, Hailie Deegan. 4 to go.
4 to go, and I'd say Tony Stewart's trying really hard right now. He's got that thing hung out. Fun to listen to him use that throttle through there. Use that throttle to keep the car in pitch, keep it in yaw, and then you got to kind of roll out when you want to get it straight so you can hook them up to get down the straightaway as fast as you can.
Saw a little piece of debris came off one of the cars all the way at the bottom of the racetrack. Shouldn't be a problem for us to get these final couple laps in. Matt Kenseth low, Bobby Labonte high, side by side there for position. That's for 4th place.
Ooh, that was kind of close.
We've had a few of those tonight. Well, the stories of this night, damage from the big wreck, and this man, Tony Stewart, takes the white flag. He's 1 lap away from scoring another win.
Yeah, Tony Stewart has just put on a clinic all night long here.
At a track he owns. He's going to sweep the night. Both heat races and the main event. A smoke show at Eldora. Tony Stewart wins it. Yellow flag out. There's one spun around on the back straightaway. The field all sees it and slows down. This will make the Eldora fans happy because their guy not anybody could have come in and taken over for Earl Baltus at this place. He was the perfect guy, Tony Stewart. It's passion, philosophy, and these fans embraced his ownership of this racetrack and everything he's done since, and they're going to love his celebration tonight. And you can hear it now.
Absolutely, you said it. The passion that he puts into this racetrack. He's a racer, right? Anytime a racer takes on something like this to promote a racetrack, but also to upgrade the track in so many different ways than what we see today, he's done an amazing job with it.
All right, let's head downstairs to Nicole Briscoe.
Well, we take a look at how this night has played out. Obviously, the fans are on their feet for the guy they love so much, Tony Stewart, winner of heat number 1, winner of heat number 2, and of course the main event. And how about Hailie Deegan in that backup car, finishing second, sandwiched in between Tony Stewart and Ryan Newman. Matt?
And Tony Stewart, the helmet up on the dash, getting ready to climb out. It's a welcome home party for Tony Stewart one more time on the dirt here at Eldora. And what a workout it was, holding off Hailie Deegan and Ryan Newman. And here he comes, 4 for 5 on the dirt. Tony Stewart takes home another huge trophy here at his favorite playground on the dirt. So who were you concerned with most on the last 2 restarts? Newman, Hailie Deegan, both were taking their shot.
Yeah, that's the one thing people don't realize is Hailie Deegan is one hell of a dirt driver. So she gets the second there. She's going to put pressure on. So just had to try to get some clean laps on restarts and get in a rhythm again and get going. But I want to thank Camping World. They have been a huge part of helping us with this series. And Johnny Morris, I finally got us win again, bud. The gang's back together, so glad to get one for Johnny and all the people at Bass Pro Shop. They're family to us, so glad to get that for them. But all of our partners, VP, everybody that helps with this series. Our guys got a little spoiled last week with not having to fix much stuff, but they got a tough grind this week getting ready to go to Missouri. But super fortunate that we get to go to Forrest Lucas's personal playground, so going to have a great time there next week. It's awesome to win here at home.
Tony Stewart loves racing and even more so winning here at his favorite playground, Eldora. Nicole?
He got a lot of attention, but every time Hailie Deegan made a move, the crowd was on their feet as well. Listen to them and look at the smile on Hailie's face. How's it feel?
Oh man, I don't know what's happened the last couple weeks or what's changed, but I've been lacking a little confidence the last couple months, and I feel like this last, 2 or 3 races, like it's starting to come back, and I'm starting to get those finishes, starting to have more speed, and it's just all coming together. I've been working really, really hard the last couple weeks, and it's paying off.
And what you did tonight, you did in a backup car. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it was a little uncomfortable in there. My left leg is definitely numb right now. My feet, usually you got like a footboard on the bottom, the rest of your feet on. That was non-existent. My legs were floating and up the whole time, trying to control the pedals, and it was just so much going on. And man, I swear, I heard 5 laps to go, and those 5 laps felt like the longest 5 laps in my life.
Second place for Hailie Deegan. AB, back up to you.
Well done, Hailie. And appreciated by the Eldora crowd. Appreciated by me. The work of my pal Joey Logano for 3 of these SRX races this year. Your thoughts on what you've watched on the racetrack?
Well, we saw Tony Stewart put on a clinic. We definitely saw that. We saw Hailie Deegan show what she's made out of. Driving a car that her feet weren't even touching the ground. You just heard her say that. She's not a very tall girl, right? So she needed a little bit of help in that car to fit better. But to fight through that, have a solid finish there. Ryan Newman, again, solid finish, collecting those points, putting himself in a good position to win the championship.
And as far as the bigger picture of SRX racing, you were with us for a show last year. You've been here this year. Your thoughts on what the series is doing?
Yeah, I love it. I love it for a lot of reasons. Obviously, it puts on good racing. We all have fun doing that. But what I love the most is how many fans show up to these local short tracks. Right? We talked about Eldora being kind of a beast of its own with such a big facility. But when you go to Berlin, we went to Stafford as well, those 2 places were packed packed with race fans, and both of them saying, we've never had a crowd this big before. How cool is that we're able to do something like that and be a part of that? That's something really special.
Got one more race to go, and it's on a dirt track next week.
God bless you.
And the mechanics and so on. But it is the last race of our series, so I guess you don't have to bring anything back but the steering wheel.
At this point, the heck with it.
Well, Nicole, we had a lot of fun with Joey, and a great night here at Eldora.
I feel like we need to congratulate Joey for keeping his voice. Good luck keeping that the rest of the weekend. This has been an absolute blast, and that's going to do it for us here at Eldora. The main event winner, there you go right there, the man who owns this track, Tony Stewart. Next Thursday, we head to Lucas Oil Speedway for the season finale of our 6-week SRX Series. Sports Center coming up next for Joey Logano, for Alan Bestwick, for Matt Yoakum, for our entire Camping World SRX crew from Eldora Speedway. It has been a fantastic night. The Orioles, what they're doing. It's week 1 of the NFL preseason. And a lot of carnage here. We'll wrap things up in the Camping World SRX Series in 1 week. But right now, we hand it over to my good friends, John Buchagosh and Kevin Connors. Sports Center is next.